camera and Jeffrey Bales on camera. We're looking forward to a great match tonight and ready to go down on the mats. Let's turn our attention to the mats where Dan Vidlak gets set to go against Harlean Williams. Now these two, Scott, are no strangers to one another. They have certainly squared off plenty of times before. We're underway.
Yeah, they've wrestled several times. Dan, of course, two-time All-American for Oregon. If he places the Nationals this year, he will be only the second three-time All-American in University of Oregon history. Harlean was second last year in the NAI tournament. Extremely unorthodox wrestler. Against someone like Dan, though, Dan can probably pick that apart.
Vidlak comes in, ranks second in the nation for the NCAA Division I schools. So he looks forward to putting a hold on that ranking. And the first takedown of the night goes to Danny Vidlak. Vidlak's a very aggressive, offensive wrestler. He likes to ring up the point.
Yeah, Dan's good on his feet, as you just saw with that single leg takedown. He really has to beat people on his feet to win, and he really can actually beat anybody in his weight class in the country on his feet. Dan's problem at the national tournament against bigger competition is that he is really undersized. A lot of 118-pounders come down from 130, 135 pounds. I don't think Dan's ever weighed 125 pounds in his life. And internationally, he competes at 114 and a half, which very few of the 118-pounders in the country could actually get that low. So his size hurts him in the big national tournament. Harlean, on the other hand, is a pretty big 18-pounder. He gets in that NAI tournament and against some people that haven't not seen him before, and as you see, Vidlak cuts him loose for the escape because he wants to take him out and rack the points up.
You bet.
But Harlean, with his unorthodox style and his size, does really well at the national tournament.
Nice crowd filling up McNeil Hall tonight. They're still filing in through the doors, ready to see some great collegiate action. And there's Vidlak back to the attack. Got the one leg, and Williams is in trouble again. Vidlak loves to score the points, as we mentioned. It looks like he'll have his second takedown. Not controlled just yet. There it is. 4-1. Danny Vidlak on top. We're just minute 25 to go here in the first round. And Vidlak is a vintage effort here tonight. This will be his last appearance in Ashland during his collegiate career. Danny has a great international career to look forward to. I think that's a great point you make about his weight, how he stacks up in the collegiate ranks, and then how he will go out into the international competition. Obviously, at a lighter weight, Dan has the credentials through the Junior National Olympics and his international experience to be a player on the worldwide scale.
Yeah, Dan has given up a little bit in his collegiate career, given up a little bit in the fact that he's really concentrated on this collegiate style. The international style is a little bit different. And some people on the international level or national level have criticized Dan for not competing in more freestyle international events, but he wants to win an NCAA championships. And so he's concentrated on this, and I think he's just put that off until a later date. Interesting, last year at the National Freestyle Tournament, he finished third place, taking down Zeke Jones, the current world champion, 7 times. He got beat on the mat, but on his feet he took Zeke down 7 times. So he has a very good chance. I mean, he has an outside chance of making that Olympic team next year.
We've got a 6-3 score in the first period, and Vidlak is back on the attack. 2 more points with another takedown. Now he's got some back points. Nope, almost had him. We should also focus on Harlean Williams, because these are 2 seniors that have scored a lot of points at national tournaments, have scored some big wins, and are guys on both teams that are counted on to provide some big points every time you go out on the mat. So you've got a couple of heavyweights, if you don't mind me using the term, in the 118-pound match here. And Harlean has certainly done the Raiders proud and been a real asset for them.
He's really come on the second half of the year. He didn't have a good season before Christmas. You know, you really don't know what to attribute that to. The fact that he was second at the Nationals, and I think he felt some pressure because he finished second last year and it really had a great tournament. But I think he's really got things squared away, and he's got his mindset in the national mode, and he's ready to go do it again. And again, with his size and his unorthodox style, he'll go right in that NAI tournament, surprise some people, and he should be in the top 4 again. Yeah,
it's awful tough for Harlean as we start the second period, I'm sure, to have a guy like Dan Vidlak come to town on your home mat. Here's a guy who is going to go back and be a contender at the NAI National Tournament. And while this is a tough challenge for him and Vidlak keeps the pressure on him, it's also a great challenge insofar as it's excellent competition to wrestle against, and that just makes you tougher and makes you a better wrestler.
Yeah, there's no doubt. You can see where, like Harlean right there, he jumps right back in the match and jumps right back into Vidlak. It's frustrating. He's wrestled Dan so many times, and he knows his chances aren't good, and it's just tough to really get up for a match when you've wrestled someone like Dan Vidlak so many times and he's beaten you that, you know, it's just tough to even get out there and do it.
We're at 12-4. Vidlak leads 12-4, 1:23 to go in the second period. Interesting, with an 8-point lead. Every match that Vidlak has won this year, I heard you talking with U of O's person before the match, he's won by 8 points every time he's won. So he's a dominating type wrestler.
Yes, he is. He hasn't had an opportunity to meet all the top guys, but he has won by 8 points or more in every match that he's won this year. His one defeat was early in the season at Old Dominion when he got caught on his back a couple of times early against just a young freshman. He came back, ended up losing by, I think, 2 or 3 points. But that obviously is not hurting his chances at the Nationals. He's currently ranked second on his other performances. He's got a little high crotch switch into a double there. And this thing could be over pretty quick. I think he'll probably get the 15-point advantage before we're through.
Harlean keeps coming at him, but Dan just has a way of getting a hold of you and not letting up. And he's an aggressive, intense wrestler and really does his business. Now, I know Dan. I've known him for probably 8 years now, since he was a very young man at Hidden Valley High School, and watched him win his 3 state titles up there, covered him when I worked for a commercial television station in Medford. You wouldn't imagine Dan being that type of aggressor on the mat. He's very mild-mannered and very down-to-earth off the mat, but boy, when he straps on the shoes and puts on the headgear, he's ready to do business.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, outside the practice room or the competition mat, he's a very calm individual. And we can all think of athletes that we know like that don't possess that aggressive behavior outside the competition arena. But when you get Dan in a competitive setting, he is really, really competitive. His first year when he placed at the Nationals, I sat and watched him, and he's wrestling a young man, Chris Boland from Oklahoma. Much better than Dan at the time, stronger, bigger, but it was the match to place. And Dan wanted to place in that national tournament, and he just turned on the performance and acted like he's never acted before. And from that point on, I think that this is the Oregon Duck coaches really talking. From that point on, he really understood how to compete.
Danny Vidlak now leading by a 20-6 score. He's just 1 point away from a 15-point technical fall. And as you look at the match as a whole and look at it beforehand on paper, this is one you're probably going to give to the Ducks. And Vidlak certainly doing his duty. What's in store now for the SOSC team? Are they ruffled by this, or do they know that the key matches still lay ahead, and these points pretty much you could assume?
Well, that's a great point, and we have got a 15-point decision right now. It helps to have an 18-fighter go out and really win for you. But in this situation, just as you stated, they know that what Harlan's up against, and they know that normally Harlan gets them off to the good start. I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's great to have Harlan in there, except for when he wrestles someone like Danny Vidlak.
And we should point out this is the one match that we're going to televise of the Raiders this year. Wish we could come back and show you all that great work that Harlan does, because he just does a fantastic job throughout the season for SOSC. You'll see him score.